it's 1:30 in the morning and my mom has just come and told me that I need to stop recording and start getting ready for bed. And she's saying that if I have time to be doing this, that I have time to be cleaning my room. So, anyways, I'm just re-recording here. Because my mom said I didn't look good in another recording that I did with my hair put up. Not that I told her I didn't really care what I looked like, but she's like, you're broadcasting it out for the whole world to see. You need to put your hair down or something. And I'm like, okay. So now I guess I look a little bit better. Whatever. So anyways, couple things that I wanted to just bring up here. Just thoughts that I had before I retire for the evening. Numero uno, my earrings. Yeah, see how I'm wearing these nice, beautiful, cute earrings. I love these earrings. These are probably like my favorite pair of earrings because they look good on me, you know. They're nice looking. So what I was thinking was, I have just been contemplating the fact of being more conservative lately, and you know, God calls us to be presenting our bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto Him. And if that's the case, then, you know, how conservative should we be? Should we be adding other things like earrings to our body? It draws different attention to our body in a sense that some people say to the extreme that if you add anything extra to your body, you are saying, God, I'm not good enough, you know. Some people don't necessarily believe that, you know. They just see it as a part of the culture this day. They're not focusing on that. Me personally, I guess thinking other people that I see with earrings and jewelry and stuff, like, I don't look at them and think anything really very much unless it's an absurd amount of extra jewelry, lots of nose and like lips and all these ear things. Like if it's like very, I don't know, prominent like on their body, and it's just you're constantly focusing on it, then you can constantly focus on it, then it's not good, I don't believe. But then also it's also because I don't see that every day, so who knows. So that's something I'm kind of contemplating for my own self though, just being more conservative, and maybe drawing less attention to myself, because the inner beauty is what counts. You know, God loves us for who we are, not what we look like, and God created us to be exactly the way we are for whatever we are. And, you know, again, another thing to remember is that we shouldn't be looking for the world's satisfaction, you know, in how we look and how we dress, and we don't have to conform to the world. You know, we are supposed to be following Christ and His example. And so anyways, that was my numero uno. Numero dos, just lately I've been kind of exposed to some Disney movies that I've watched in the past but just haven't watched in years. There's 3 of them that I just watched recently, just babysitting in the last couple weeks. The first one I just watched the other day, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I'm sure a lot of people have watched that one. It's the first movie that ever came out with Walt Disney. Just kind of realized that today in researching the business and doing a assignment for my master's program, which just started, Master's in Business Administration, which just started on Monday. And I finally just started getting cracking on my work today, Wednesday. But yeah, so Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, I was watching it and I just felt this yuckiness like watching it. And something that I had read in the book that you'll probably hear me talking about for a while until I finished reading it. The Bondage Breaker, I tend to read pretty slow, so I'll probably be talking about this for a while, but what it talks about is that anything that is not of God, and not putting God kind of like is the forefront sort of thing, could tend to draw a lot of spiritual darkness into it. And so something that was interesting is that in the book it said, I think about 75% of movies and TV programs that are out there these days are actually owned by Satanists. So that's just really interesting to me, because they definitely have an influence on the movies and what's in them, and even if they didn't even create them but they own them, it's still like they have some like imminent like effect on it in some way. I don't know, but just watching Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, I just felt like could not watch it. Like, I was watching it with this 4-year-old, and I had to just grab a magazine and just not even watch the movie because it just made me feel sick. I think the only part of the movie that I didn't feel like very sick to, was the song Whistling While You Work, and that was kind of a catchy tune and whatever, but the rest of it was just kind of, I didn't like it. And then the other movie that I just watched was Thumbelina, and that one too, I didn't really like it. And so the other movie that I watched though was Hercules, and that one wasn't too bad. I didn't really find anything in it that was too disturbing and stuff, but the other one just made me feel really kind of sick inside. So I don't know if there was some actual like spiritual like darkness kind of like seeping into me as like a child watching those kinds of movies. I feel like maybe there could have been, and that could have led up to like the build up of things in my life up to this point, where I've now had to, over the years, continually just pray and renounce things to God, and now even more, recognizing those things. Before I didn't recognize them, and now I'm starting to recognize them more, so that's a good thing. So there's just a couple things that are on my mind, though. You can leave your thoughts and comments if you'd like about my ideas on conserving or being more conservative, and also about certain movies and programs that you watch. I'm not like saying that Disney movies aren't something that should be watched at all. I love many of the other different programs, TV programs, and movies that are out by Disney, but just those particular ones I just found interesting, that I just felt kind of weird watching them. So anyways, that's what God has led me in my spirit and guided me to observe and think about just recently. So thank you for listening to my rambling thoughts, and be continually blessed.